was a great third quarter. We really we had an amazing run that we went on. O'Shea was great. Everybody that was out there was great. McConnell was great. Tyrese, Buddy, Isaiah was making things happen. We actually, I think, had 3 chances to take a 3-point lead during that stretch, and just could not get the ball in the basket when we needed to. But we just battled. We just battled the entire day. It's tough playing against Irving and Durant, but guys just stayed with it and got back into the game. Gave ourselves a chance, and a disappointing first half, but a great second half. But once again, it's 48, and we're going to have to do a lot better as we move forward next year and onward. So I don't know. There's some positives from the year, but there's a lot of things we got to do better, and all of us got to do better. And so the summer begins now.
Rick, what did you think of TJ's performance, particularly after missing 50+ games and choosing to come back?
Yeah, he wanted to play. He wanted to play these last 3 games. He made some threes. He made a lot of great things happen defensively. Seeing him and Tyrese out there together is really great, because these guys motor the ball up and down so fast, and it really brings an element of speed that we just have not had. And so it was awesome that he was out there. And I think what he wanted to do was kind of get a bit of a launching pad into the summer. He's been working on his 3-point shot, really have kind of retrained his 3-point shot coming off of the surgery, kind of starting from scratch again. Jenny Busick has spent a lot of time with him. I've spent some time with him on it, and I think he's on a really good path there. So he'll have a great summer, and having him back next year will make a difference for us.
How do you think him wanting to use this as a springboard for himself? You talked about it. How do you think that could maybe be contagious for the rest of the group to have experience like that and get motivated to not want this thing to happen next year, where you're able to be like them and having a play-in or playoff game
Hey, we just got to keep finding high character guys that love to play. That's what it is. And he's also just a great competitor, and his competitive spirit is the reason he's in this league to start with. And he's built a career, and in his mind there was no way he wasn't going to play if he was able. And that's a beautiful thing.
Can you speak to the amount of skill it takes to be in this league at that size? I know people look at other players around the league, they're like, oh, they're a pest or this. It kind of diminishes what it takes to be, that size and to last as long as he has in the league.
Well, TJ McConnell's a winner. He brings winning elements to the game. He knows what he is. He knows what he isn't. And he plays to his strengths. And he tirelessly works on his weaknesses. And again, I think just his spirit is the thing that is so, he's got an indomitable spirit, an indomitable competitive spirit. And, for who we are as a franchise, who our fans are, and what Indiana basketball represents, I mean, he's one of the torch carriers, So it's great to have him back out there.
We'll go to Zoom, Pat Boyle.
One of your goals, Rick, over the last month or so of the season with all this opportunity was to get a better feel for exactly what you have, what the organization has. Do you feel like you were able to accomplish that goal?
Yeah, I do. I really feel like we have a great handle on the capabilities of the guys that we have on this roster. Our young guys all had a phenomenal set of opportunities over the last 2 months to show what they can do. We found out a lot about their bodies, about their skill sets, about how they fit in, about things that they need to work on this summer. So, that's a very positive thing. And I also want to mention that Steve Simon was here with his family. They're actually here on spring break from San Francisco, and I asked him to come in and say a few words to the team after the game. And he was great. He was just phenomenal. He thanked the guys for their competitive spirit, their fight. Talked about the future and how the struggles we've gone through this year are going to bear fruit going forward. So we really appreciated him being in there. And so, so now we're getting ready to get on the plane, go back home, and go from there.
Tony East.
As you talked about wanting to do a lot better next year, what do you view as the biggest areas for growth for this team next year and even in the offseason?
Well, we got to get everybody healthy. I think that's an obvious thing. The draft is going to be a critical one for us. That's obvious. There's a lot of things. There'll be a lot of elements. I mean, we got 2 undrafted guys that ended up, having some really impactful games. And so I know we have a late 2nd round pick, and then you always have the 61st pick, which every team has. And so we'll be looking for more guys like that. And our scouting department, and KP and Chad and Kelly and Ted have done a great job of identifying players like that.
TJ, you say you want to come back and feel like a basketball player. So did you feel like that tonight, particularly in the 3rd quarter, you're making some shots and looking more like yourself?
Yeah. I'm not one that shoots a ton, but, when they're forcing me to shoot it, I'm certainly not scared to do so. And just got to thank my teammates for having confidence in me. And like you said, yeah, I certainly felt like a basketball player. I think it's a good segue into the summer for us and for myself. So proud of this group. Just really didn't have enough bodies, didn't have enough to get over the hump there.
Can you take me through the play when you got the rebound and dropped it off to Terry for the behind the back layup, tie the game for the first time in a while, and
yeah,
like you all were in the groove?
I just think we were doing what we do best, getting out in transition and moving the ball. I kind of saw Terry run behind me and tried to take a defender away by driving it into him and dropping it off, and he finished it. All credit to him.
And then obviously they got the win. So what was it like to notice you played well and you do certain things when it comes to Kyrie or KD, they can just kind of hit a switch and maybe make it just that much tougher to get stops?
Yeah, I mean that's what makes them all-time greats. If someone thinks that they're going to guard Kyrie one-on-one and be effective, I think you may have another thing coming. You just by looking at that one play, that'll probably be on SportsCenter, but they're just great players of the game, and you got to respect them. But knowing how good they are, it's a team effort defensively against guys like that.
In the big picture, what do you think this says about this team, this group, to go out there and play like that? And like you said, head into the offseason with some positive spurts to kind of build on going into the break.
Yeah, it's great, and you have to be proud, of the fight, and just kind of got to go into the offseason and see what we can do here and come back and make a run at the playoffs next year. And, I think we'll have the pieces to do that.
I was going to say, last one for me, how motivating is it? You've been in situations where you can do playoffs, you play beyond this point in the season, and how motivating is it to not only get back there yourself, but to have younger guys like Tyrese, Isaiah, have that be a motivating factor for them to get that first experience next season? Yeah,
just to be able to, compete for a spot in the playoffs it's a privilege. And, we're going to have to work really hard this summer and get in the gym and come out next year and just, play like we did towards the end together, extremely hard, move the ball. And, because, when Gamebridge is really hard to play at, when we're rocking and rolling. So just kind of got to evaluate everything in the offseason and get back to it.
Okay, we'll go to Zoom. Pat Boylan.
TJ, one of the reasons you listed for wanting to come back was to get the opportunity to take the floor with some of your new teammates. And I know it's only been 3 games, but I'm wondering what your initial impressions were of playing with some of those guys that weren't on the roster when you got hurt.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, the way we were able to move the ball and the pace we were creating. I think we could have been a little better defensively, but, you know, just the bodies weren't there. I think we were worn down a little bit. And but playing with the guys that we have is extremely fun in the short amount of time that I played with them. And I'm super happy that I was able to come back.
Tony East.
TJ, you've had a unique career in terms of the teams you've been on with some of the process Sixers teams and some of the more successful Sixers teams, been in the playoffs here with the Pacers as well. What did you kind of see as the guiding force that led you guys to having a worse record than you expected this year?
I think we were legitimately decimated by injuries. You know, obviously that's not an excuse. That's just the flat out truth. You know, it was unfortunate, and we're not going to use it as an excuse. We have to be better, and we're going to get everyone healthy this offseason and get back to it.
Yeah, obviously TJ's been a really good talking piece for me and a good friend since I've got here. So I'm really excited that he's back, and to see him playing, you know, to his capability, and you know, it's awesome to be out there with him. I look forward to, you know, continuing to play with him as we move forward.
Throughout his career, teams have kind of dared him to shoot. He's obviously coming off a wrist injury, but he knocks down some big threes tonight. What were you all saying to him, and maybe throughout that stretch when you all were getting back in the game?
Just tell him let it go. Just and then shoot it. I don't know if he's, you know, ever played with another primary ball handler, you know, like me, to where, you know, he plays in the corner a little bit more than he's probably accustomed to. So, you know, people are going to tag off him heavy, and so he's going to be open. I'm just telling him, just let it go. You know what I'm saying? He puts a lot of work in, so, you know, trust your work and put it up, and, you know, he's knocking him down.
He's talked about wanting to use these last 3 games like a way to springboard himself to the offseason, but he also talked about how he wanted to be a springboard for the entire group. So to see you all play like that, even if you're down a bunch of bodies, how motivating is it to know, like, okay, we get some guys back, going to the offseason strong, maybe next season we could be in their position where we're fighting for a playoff spot or a playing spot?
Yeah, I think that's obviously the, you know, the ultimate goal, but you know, I think it's just trying to finish the right way, and as we move into the summer, just building habits, you know, constant communication between each other, and guys just got to get in the gym and work, and that's all that's to it. So, you know, obviously having a guy like TJ who is a high IQ basketball player, a high energy guy, I think guys see that, and that should, you know, amp them up as we move forward to next year. And, you know, we get more guys back healthy, it can be a lot of fun.
Rick mentioned that Steve Simon came in and spoke to you after the game. What was his message to you all, and how much did that mean to you to have him come and speak?
It was just like introductory stuff. I think he hasn't met a lot of guys in person, hasn't met us since we, you know, the guys who got traded here, obviously. So, you know, just telling us, you know, we're part of the family, appreciates us, and things like that. So it's definitely good to have that conversation.
All right, Pat Boylan on Zoom.
Tyrese, from playing with Buddy in Sacramento and then playing with him here, clearly was able to excel in a lot of areas that maybe he wasn't previously. I'm just wondering what you saw in the difference between him, whether it was opportunity or increased level of play after the trade happened.
Yeah, I just think he's happier, you know, to be quite frank. He just obviously the relationship between him and the Kings, you know, there was trade rumors for a while, and I think it was just good that they split up. And yeah, I think he's just playing more fun, you know, more free, and just going out there and just playing basketball at the end of the day. So I think just that change of scenery really helped him. I thought he got really better. You know, after the deadline, I thought he started playing really well, facilitating in different ways that I hadn't seen him do before. So, yeah, I think just going out there and having fun, I think that's the biggest thing. And I bet if you ask him, he'd say the same thing. Just, you know, basketball for him, you know, being fun again.